Hi, everyone. Welcome to Grassroots Voices with Robin and Friends. I'm Robin. This is where community and politics meet. As usual, this is a Facebook Live show, so I have to go onto Facebook and stream the show live. So that takes a couple of minutes. And then from there, once it's streaming live via our Facebook group, then I have to share this episode across about 50 to 80 Facebook different political groups. So it just takes me a minute or two, really 3 minutes, sometimes 5, to get this all set up. So if you're on YouTube, thank you for your patience. I'm going to go ahead and get started now and share this to the groups. Well, I'm sorry, share it to the Team Stacy group where we stream this live. And then from there, I will stream it to the groups and then we'll start the show. So if you're on YouTube or watching a replay, then you can just go, forward it about 3 to 5 minutes to start the actual show. Thanks so much for your patience. Very important show if you care about Georgia. We will be speaking with the political director of the Democratic Party of Georgia, Mr. Dominick Perkins. So I'm super excited to speak with him. He's fantastic. So just please be patient and we'll get started very soon. Hi. Hi, everyone. I'm Robin. This is Grassroots Voices with Robin and Friends, where community and politics meet. We have a wonderful show planned this evening. This is the second show of the week, but I'm really excited to share some updates about what's happening here in Georgia in the political space, and we'll be joined by Dominick Perkins. He's the political director of the Democratic Party of Georgia. So we're going to get started in one moment. As usual, I have to go through and I have to share this across the Facebook groups, and sometimes that takes just a minute or two. So just give me one moment and then we will get started with the show. If this is a replay, you can forward maybe about 3 or so minutes in, and then you can start watching the interview with Dominick. So please just bear with me. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for showing up, and we'll be getting started very soon. So I'm just looking at my phone here, sharing it across. And we'll be getting started. Sharing it across the groups. So just give me one moment, please. Thank you. If you are watching and if you are in the comments section and you've donated to Beto O'Rourke, please let us know. We're so excited here in Georgia and beyond that Beto is jumping back into the ring in Texas. This is where it starts. They've been working so hard to flip Texas for so long, and they're so close, and every election cycle, they get closer and closer. So we want to support Beto. We want to support a fellow Sunbelt Southern state that is on its way to flipping. So please donate to Beto O'Rourke's campaign. I'm almost finished here. So again, thank you for your patience. So tonight we are going to hear from Dominick Perkins. He's the political director of the Democratic Party of Georgia, and he's going to bring us up to date about what is going on in Georgia, what are some of the things they're working on. So it's very exciting, and I look forward to speaking with him. So again, if you're just joining, thank you so much for joining live. If you're watching the replay, thank you for joining. Again, this is Grassroots Voices with Robin and Friends, where community and politics meet. I'm Robin. And so what I'm doing now, I'm going through and sharing this episode across the various Facebook groups. And so more people can jump on here live. So I will be getting started. I'm gonna try to start in 1 minute, maybe 90 seconds. So again, thank you for your patience, and you'll be plugged in just a few minutes. Thanks for your patience. If you're not in Georgia and you're wondering, like, should I still be watching this? I definitely feel like it's worth watching. It's so important to listen to other ideas, especially ideas that are coming out of other states or people who've been successful. And then you can always replicate what's happening or, adjust it to wherever you're living. So that's why I, even though we're a Georgia-based group that is national with Team Stacey Abrams Grassroots, it's still important, I feel like, to highlight what's happening in other places. And that's why we're trying to keep our ear to the ground in Texas and see how we can help them. But again, I just think it's important to know, what are people doing? What are best practices? Or you could just get some inspiration and motivation in hearing other states and other leaders' stories and other change agent stories. So this is why, I think it's still important to listen, even if you are not here in Georgia. But if you care anything about democracy and anything about the Democrats or about keeping Trump and friends and Trumpism out, I would definitely pay attention to Georgia, because we're going to be the premier battleground state between all of the congressional seats that we have to defend here. Lucy McBath, Senator Warnock, Representative McBath, Representative Bordeaux. And then, of course, we're going to have the race for governor, hoping that Stacey Abrams announces and then or runs. And then we'll also have the Secretary of State, Lieutenant Governor. Everything is important, and pretty much what happens at the top of the ballot here in Georgia is also going to impact the Senate race and vice versa. So again, it's no matter where you are in the country, Georgia is going to be a very important state. And so if you are in a, what you perceive to be a safely blue space, like, I don't know, like a New York City or, somewhere else, not to say don't pay attention to local politics there, but if you can put some money or resources or time into Georgia, then absolutely, I would highly suggest that people adopt Georgia and know what's going on here and get in sooner than later. So I'm almost finished. I'm just, again, sharing this across the groups, and then we'll be joined by Dominick very soon. So again, thank you for your patience, and we'll get started. So again, if you're just joining me, we're going to get started in about 30 seconds. I'm just sharing the episode across our various political Facebook groups, and it takes some time because I belong to a lot. So let me see, almost there. I'm just giving some people a time to hop on. All right. So again, if you're just joining us, my name is Robin. Welcome to Grassroots Voices. We're going to get started in about 10 seconds. I'm trying to get faster with this, everybody, but it takes time, and it's just me here, and I do have one other production assistant helping with the links. Thank you, Kimi, for your assistance. I am not in Atlanta. I'm actually in the Chicago suburbs, and so it's just me on this end doing this. And then, okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Thanks again for your patience. Sorry, one more group. Okay. All right. Okay, here we go. Welcome to Grassroots Voices with Robin and Friends, where community and politics meet. I started this show because I've spent over a decade in and out of politics, and then more recently very involved in politics in Georgia and the last couple of years. And I've met all kind of wonderful, amazing people, change agents, people who are really out there doing the work on the ground every day. So I wanted to create this show to elevate their voices and to highlight the causes and the calls to actions that they're focused on, and to be a space for their voice, and to allow people who are watching to plug in and get involved with them or to support the work that they're doing. So that was the intention of starting this show. I'm the founder of Team Stacey Abrams Grassroots. We're not affiliated directly in an official capacity with Stacey Abrams. We are a group of volunteers, supporters, people who support voting rights, people who support fair districts, Southern policy to improve the lives of Southerners, and then just Stacey Abrams supporters and fans. So we congregate here at Team Stacey Abrams Grassroots, excuse me. And so please join our group, check the comment section. We have about 23,000 members and we're still growing. So please join us. This is where the show is streamed from each week. We also have sister groups, Team Georgia Blue, Stacey Abrams Fair Fight Club, Stacey Abrams for President, started in 2019, way before Biden announced. Just have to throw that in there. A Blue Georgia for a Stronger and Progressive America, Envoys for Humanity, Disability and Democracy, and the Rural Progressive and Afro Southeast Georgian Facebook group. So those are our sister groups. Please join them. We don't post all of the same stuff. There's different conversations, different calls to actions happening in each group, depending on the day. So please check the comments section to join the groups. And if you want to support the show, you can like and share this episode, tag a friend in the comments, join our groups, and just keep fighting for voting rights. And of course, you can always make a grassroots contribution directly to me. I have a Venmo and PayPal account that I usually show at the beginning or end of the show, or just feel free to donate to any of our past guests and their causes. Again, check the links in the comments section. So I want to get started right away. Today, in this episode, we will hear an update from Dominick Perkins. He's the political director of the Democratic Party of Georgia. Please support the Democratic Party of Georgia. You can go to their website, georgiademocrat.org, and he's going to bring us up to date about all the exciting things that have happened in Georgia this year and what we're up against in 2022 and how people can get involved to show their support. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Dominick in. One moment. Okay. Okay, and then I forgot to really properly introduce Dominick. So sorry. So Dominick Perkins, he's one of the most sought after strategists in the Southeast of the US. He was born and raised in Columbus, Georgia, and he's an experienced and passionate public servant, educator, and political strategist. He has served in various roles on the federal, state, and local campaigns throughout the Southeast, including working as the data director for Jim Barksdale bid for US Senate in Georgia. He was a senior advisor to Congressman Sanford Bishop's successful bid for re-election in 2018, and he's taken on various roles throughout the state. He is very well versed in Georgia politics. He was the political director, I believe, for the Biden campaign here in Georgia or the Southeast. He'll have to let us know that on that one, but very well knowledge and educated on all things Georgia politically. And so I'm so happy to welcome him to Grassroots Voices. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Dominick in and we'll go into his interview. Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
Hey, Dominick, how are you? Thank you so much for coming on. I know you are so busy.
Oh, no, I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much.
You are welcome. You're welcome. So Grassroots Voices has a lot of supporters. You know, most of them are here in Georgia, a lot of people in our Facebook groups, but we do have people from across the country. So we're really excited to hear from you and what's happening in Georgia. And, you know, as I tell everyone, you know, Georgia is just the spotlight will continue to be on the state no matter what. And if people want to, you know, get in early and support Georgia, this is the best time to do it. And so hopefully, you know, you can tell us some things that people can help out with, whether they're here or out of state. So
absolutely.
I wanted to start with, because I know a lot of people don't really understand how, you know, what's going on with the party or how campaigns work and things like that. But can you just maybe even just share with people who don't know, like, what is a political director and what are you responsible for?
Sure, absolutely. So, as political director, my primary responsibility is to manage relationships between the party and elected officials and stakeholders. So we have various community stakeholders, people who make up different coalitions groups. I also manage our relationship between the party and labor unions. So really just my job is kind of relationship management and all of the ups and downs that entails. So I would say the primary thing I do is help empower both elected officials and our stakeholders from various groups, basically just help empower them. So I let them know what we're working on. I find out, basically stay in contact with them, find out about things they're working on, and then help kind of figure out ways that we can work together on certain projects. There's also what I commonly tell people is kind of a customer service component to the job. So when people have concerns or upset or have an issue or something like that, I'm usually the person who helps resolve whatever type of thing needs to be resolved. And also a large part of what I do is help just communicate some of the goals and priorities of the party to our various stakeholders and groups at large.
Yes, it's definitely an area of, I feel like, of just politics and campaigns and parties that I just feel like you have to have a certain like patience and
Yeah,
ability to work with people
yeah,
because, you're dealing with a lot of egos and a lot of different, coalitions that each elected official has and you need and to be able to, build things out. So, I'm just giving props to you. A
thank
lot
you.
of honor and respect because not everybody could do that work. Wonderful. So maybe let's start with I don't know, what are you all working on? What's going on with the Democratic Party of Georgia? I know there's a runoff, happening in various races, local and municipal, but I mean, how are you all already into 2022? Are you still figuring out the voter protection? So what's going on? Because there's so much is going
the the answer is all of that. So everything you just mentioned, we're doing all of that plus some. We're working on quite a few things. One of the things we are working on that I'm very proud of is we have staffed up. I've actually lost track of how many staff we have, but it is feel like it's over 20, which anyone who's been involved with the Democratic Party of Georgia for some time knows that that's the largest staff we've carried at this point in the election cycle for a long time. I've been involved with the party as an employee or volunteer for over 10 years, and this is the largest staff I recall us having. We're in the process of hiring a new coordinated campaign director. So we're already working on that, which is, again, this is the earliest we have ever attempted to hire someone for that position in as long as I remember. So we're getting started early, which I think is an important thing. That's something that I have wanted to see, and so it is happening. Some of the other things we're working on, as I'm sure you know, the infrastructure bill that was just passed. So we're helping tout the infrastructure bill and kind of spread the good news about how infrastructure is going to impact workers and impact working people all across the state and frankly all over the country. So we hosted a press conference in Macon today that went very well. We had some labor leaders and local elected officials from the area, from the Macon-Bibb area. We're hosting a press conference in Savannah tomorrow with Van Johnson, who is amazing and is a obviously huge supporter of the party and all things Democrats in Georgia. And then we're hosting another press conference in Columbus on Monday. We're also have been involved in the special session in redistricting, or I shouldn't say in redistricting, but just in response to some of the maps and other things that unfortunately our friends on the other side of the aisle have not done in a way that I think most Georgians would like for them to do, and putting politics ahead of doing what's best for the people. So we've responded to that. We're also, like I said, prepping for 2022. We're doing outreach for the runoff elections, and also did outreach for municipal elections. For the regular municipal elections, we did outreach to targeted races where we targeted people who we identified as Democrats all across the state. And we flipped 41 seats in Georgia
That's
for a net gain of 35. So we had a very successful municipal election cycle in Georgia. So we're really excited and glad to see that momentum going on. So that's just a few of the things we were working on. And I know I'm missing some stuff, but that's just a few of the things we're working on.
Oh my gosh, congratulations
Thank you.
on flipping all of those seats. That's
Thank you.
incredible. And that's such a
Thank you.
great sign.
Thank you. Yes, it's something we're definitely happy about, and glad to see that the momentum from the 2020 election, which you were a huge part of, and thank you for your support in the 2020 election. But we're glad to see that momentum continuing on from the general election and the runoffs.
Oh, that's so great. Thank you. Oh my goodness. So I guess, well, I just want to ask this real quick too. So what about, would you say, how's it looking like in rural areas of the state? Because, sometimes when, some of our admins run our group chat, and, there'll be people who are from more rural areas, and, they'll have slightly different perspectives, or they'll be asking, certain things about certain candidates. But do you have any like thoughts on, is anything changing since the 2020 elections, or do you see like a different strategy to reach out to some rural areas?
Yeah. So I think, so during the general election, we did focus on doing outreach to rural areas and to cities beyond the metro Atlanta area. So we did work significantly on that. In fact, we actually had a deputy coalitions director on the general election team for the Biden campaign who specifically did rural outreach. So I have no doubt that that's something we'll continue to do. That we will continue to work hard to reach voters of all types in rural areas. So we're not going to focus on, one type of rural voter over another, because obviously rural voters are not a monolith. So we're going to make sure that we do targeted outreach to rural voters across the state, and that's something that I'm definitely committed to, and oftentimes served kind of as the one of the point men on our rural outreach strategy during the general election, because I'm from Columbus and I've worked in the 2nd Congressional District with Congressman Bishop for quite a long time. So continuing continuing on with that rural outreach is something that I'm definitely committed to, and something that I know the party is committed to.
That's so great. That's so great. I hope to get to see more parts of Georgia this time around. And since we were kind of stuck, some of us stuck, because of the pandemic. And
yes.
but okay. And then what about voter protection, and how's that going? I know Georgia was one of like the first, I think, state parties in the country to have voter protection, a year round. And I know now other states are taking note. So what about voter protection? Are you continuing to build upon that? And what's going on there?
Yeah, absolutely. So our we still have our voter protection director, Cyra Draper, from the general election, who's been with us for a while. And so Cyber is continuing on with her work. Our voter protection hotline was active during the municipal elections. And so we had people call in with various requests or questions, or needing support in terms of voter protection. So that's something that we're still actively working on. Another thing that we actively we're working on was doing outreach in response to the horrible election bill that Republicans passed. And so we did educational outreach heavily to county parties, just directly contacting county parties. And we had folks who were going to them and just kind of talking about some of the finer points of the bill and how it was going to impact elections in Georgia, and how it may potentially impact voters of color, and specifically Democratic voters, and how it would impact them in ways that we could adjust. So yeah, so voter protection continues to be a priority of ours. It's something that we actively work on to improve, and our voter protection team is hard at work. So I would say things look great, in terms of voter protection, and we will, fully expect to have, unfortunately, have some challenges in Georgia, in large part because of our friends again on the other side of the aisle. So we fully expect it, but we are fully prepared, and we'll continue to prepare and get better.
It was something I was going to ask you in regards to voter protection. Oh, so how do you, I know it's still kind of early, but have you all been able to assess how these laws have impacted this last round of people voting in the state?
No, I have not looked at any, I haven't looked at any data in terms of impact. The one thing I can say is we did have people calling in, but a lot of the questions and requests and requests for support that I saw were fairly common requests that we see during every election. So there wasn't anything particularly alarming that we saw during that I saw, at least during the municipal election. So I may need to have some more conversations with our team, but from the conversations we have had up to this point, there was nothing particularly alarming in terms of how it impacted municipal elections that I saw.
Okay. Yeah, I know I voted by absentee ballot in 2020, but then this time around I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to put my ID and all that stuff. But I did go in person early.
Yeah.
And so, my polling location, early voting was changed, to different. So that was, a thing, but I got it in, make sure I got it in.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I voted absentee in 2020, but this time I just went and voted early. But I mean, not because of any of the changes or anything, simply because it was just easier to do, because the early voting site's like 2 minutes from my house. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so for 2022, if someone is in Georgia, could you tell us, like, if someone is in Georgia and they want to help with any of the races in 2022, what are some things they could be doing now? And then if a person's out of state, same thing. If they want to help Georgia, what could they be doing now?
Yeah, so I would say the first thing they can do is go to our website, georgiademocrat.org, and click the, I think it's Take Action. And so, and they can sign up to volunteer. So that's the first thing they can do. We have a ton of different opportunities for people to volunteer in various ways, both in state and out of state. In fact, our digital organizing director, Stasha Yim, who was also with us during the general election. She runs Slack groups and does handles a lot of our relational organizing work and just online organizing work. And she has volunteers all over the country who are actively supporting the team. So you can sign up to volunteer there. And if you're out of state, you will be contacted by Stasha quickly, and she will put you to work. In any way you feel comfortable. We also have in-state volunteer opportunities during the general election. We have volunteers who supported us and who can actively support us now as we help with some of the runoff elections that we have going on across the state to help drive up turnout for Democrats in certain elections. So there are definitely a lot of opportunities. The other thing I would say to people who are in the state is definitely join your county party. So whichever county you're in, you can go on georgiademocrat.org on the website again, and you can look it up. You can also contact someone from our team, Justin Pitts, who handles county party affairs. We have quite a few people who will help you navigate the process of getting involved with your county party. And our county parties are really the workhorses of our party, who know the most about their county in the state, and who really work hard. And so those are some of the best opportunities to get to meet and get to know other Democrats and really get involved at the local level in a lot of different ways. So it's a great opportunity. In fact, that's how in large part, that's how I got started in politics, was getting involved with my county party, and it just kind of took off from there.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's good to know. I think you all just do a fantastic job. I'm from the Chicagoland area, from suburbs, and I was a little bit involved with the party here when I used to live here, but then kind of after that, I've just been more, into grassroots and other things. But when I moved to Georgia 8 years ago, I just was so impressed by the party, and it was like a young party too,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
people were just, really pulling together and just being very creative. And so now I just, I really want to support you all and encourage other people to do that too. And I'm going to get more involved in my county party in 2022. But I know this is like a key time for people, in politics. I know, you have a lot to do tonight, but anything else that you want to leave people with, just in terms of just how important, 2022 will be, and how important Georgia will be on the national scene as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The first thing I would say is just in the same way that Georgia kind of became the I guess center of the political universe when we made it to the runoffs for the two Senate races. I fully expect Georgia to be at the center of the political universe in 2022. Most important things one of the most important things that we're going to have to do as a state, and I think as a country, is make sure that we reelect Senator Warnock to the United States Senate. And I see that in large part, not because it's the right thing to do, and I think he's the best candidate and he's doing amazing work, but I also see that as an extension of the work I did with the Biden campaign and helping elect Joe Biden. Because if we want to see some of the great things we've seen, like the COVID relief package, like infrastructure that just passed, and Build Back Better, which seems to be on the road to passing very soon. If we want to continue to see that kind of transformative work, we have to make sure we have Senator Warnock in the U.S. Senate. And then we have statewide races up and down the ballot, and hope to plan on electing a governor, a new governor, and people up and down the ticket. And so we need everybody, and it's a very important time for Georgia. And I firmly believe that we have the ability, and the time is now, to continue with the work that we did in the general, electing Joe Biden and electing Senator Ossoff and Senator Warnock to the United States Senate. So it's a key time in the history of our state, in the history of our country, and we need everybody who can help, who did help the last time. We need them to help again. We need them to bring their friends, their cousins, whoever. We need as much support as we can, because we have some really important work we need to accomplish in Georgia.
Yes, we do. Well, I definitely will say, maybe have somebody start working on that supporter housing, because I'm hearing a lot of people tell me that they want to come to Georgia and knock doors and help. And some came last time in the middle of the holidays and pandemic. So I can't even imagine what that'll look like in 2022.
Yeah, well, we'll get started on it. So that's something we'll work on.
Seriously. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. I know there's like so much that more we can talk about, and we'll have time. The show we'll have our next season in 2022. So you're more than welcome to please come back on at any point to talk about anything, or if you want to send people from the party, please know, the door is always open here.
Okay. All right. No, I appreciate
calls
it.
to actions too that you all have, like, if you want me to share them on the show and share them in our groups, please let me know.
Okay, I'll be happy to, and I look forward to coming back again.
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you so much, Dominic. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful evening.
You too, and thank you for everything you do.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome.
All right, bye-bye.
Take care.
All right.
Hey, love Georgia Democrats. They're always hard at work. Everybody is hard at work trying to do something, more often than not. So that's how we got here. That's how, so many people who did all the groundwork for years here in Georgia. And it's just wonderful to see everything pay off. So the short show tonight, we just got right to it. If you want to know any of the calls to action, I will just run through them real quick. So we are still promoting Stacey Abrams. She's on tour. Just go to staceyabramstour.com if you want to hear her speak live in person. The next show will be Tuesday, November 30th, after Thanksgiving. Episode 17 will have special guest Bee Nguyen. She's the candidate for Secretary of State here in Georgia. So we definitely want to hear from her. I'm super excited that she's coming on the show. We're still calling our senators for Freedom to Vote Fall, 833-465-7142. Let them know that you want to see voting rights legislation passed at the federal level. It doesn't matter if you're Democrat, Republican, blue, red state, if your senator supports it or not, they need to hear your voice, and you got to empower yourself and your vote and your voice. And yeah, I think that's about it. We're still calling President Biden and asking that he eliminate the filibuster, well, that he pressures the Senate to eliminate the filibuster, 888-724-8746. This is working. He has definitely changed his stance, the president has, on the filibuster. So we have to continue to keep that pressure up. And we're also calling Brian Kemp, asking that he expand, or really demanding that he expands Medicaid, 404-656-1776. And we're supporting Beto O'Rourke for governor. Check the comment section for the links. Please drop a donation, especially in these early days. Every little bit helps. And again, any comments, show ideas, you can reach me at grassrootsvoices999@gmail.com. I will get back to you as soon as I can. And if you want to support the show through grassroots donations, you can Venmo me or PayPal me, or just make sure that you like the episode, share it, tag a friend, join our groups, and keep fighting for voting rights. So again, thank you for joining me, Grassroots Voices with Robin and Friends. I'm Robin. This is where community and politics meet. Thank you for joining me for our second show this week, and I will see everybody on November 30th for episode 17 with the Bee Nguyen candidate for Secretary of State in Georgia. You know how important that position is, so please tune in to watch the show. And other than that, check the comments, and I will see everybody after Thanksgiving in about 2 weeks. Take care.